in and joins in, we're gonna get right back to the conversation in a second. But let's make sure everything is good. So when our people do come in, I want to make sure that we bring them in and ask them whether or not it's running better.
You know,
Yeah, I definitely do know.
I want to make it where everybody knows for a fact that we hear y'all. Y'all voices are important. For
Factual.
sure, for sure. Y'all voices are very much so important. Making sure that everybody hear exactly what we saying and what we talking about is important. Y'all are definitely a part of the conversation.
All right, yeah, I got to share it out now. I'm just gonna make sure I send it to one last group, and we're gonna get back on the convo. Sometimes I'll be wondering what be happening, but hey, we can't control what happened with the Shadid. Can't control what happens with the Wi-Fi. Although I'd like to.
No, we can't.
I'd like to be able to, but that ain't how it works. But so just rewinding back to what we were. Do you think it's okay
Mm-hmm.
for a young lady, or not even do you think it's okay? How do you feel about a young lady expecting her boyfriend to do for her and treat her like her father treated her when he raised her?
Mm-hmm. Say that again, pops.
How do you feel about a young lady expecting her boyfriend
Mm-hmm.
to treat her like her father did when he raised her?
To be honest with you, pops, I think it's an unrealistic expectation at times
Okay.
because some people raise their kids one way, some people raise their kids another way. But the reality to it is, I think a person can only try to be the best them. Like you can't fulfill somebody's father's shoes.
Now, let me bring it into scope a little bit.
Let's go.
So she said, my dad used to fill up my tank without me asking.
It's not a problem.
My dad used to start my car in the morning to make sure it's warm so I'd never get cold.
Okay.
My dad made sure that when he got paid, I got paid. So he gave me money every single week out of his paycheck. She got allowance. Now, drop a one in the chat if you got allowance when you were growing up.
I'm gonna say this though, pops. What you just described, I don't think would be perceived as a bad thing.
Okay.
Like I'm gonna go on record to say, like,
So is it unrealistic for her
mm,
to want that?
I think it starts becoming unrealistic when people start asking for unrealistic things. Those things I think are genuinely just you anticipating your partner's needs and
Okay.
your parents kind of teaching you like, hey, this is what a man is supposed to do for you, or this is how a man is supposed to do it. X, Y, Z, A, B, C.
Well, let me go a little further.
Yeah, because I was gonna say that's just
Because when she
ridiculous.
moved out, her father continued to pay her rent. And he told her, once you get with a guy, I should no longer have to pay your rent because that becomes that man's job.
I think in a way he's not lying because he becomes the leader of that foundation. And becoming the leader of that foundation doesn't mean that you just don't work or it doesn't mean that you don't do anything. I feel like at this time in life, we're humans. So to go to work, to be able to provide, to be able to bring something to the table, self maintenance is something that you're supposed to maintain.
Okay.
So when it comes down to actually like helping out somebody and making sure that this person is good, we should bring it to the pot. I believe that we should have like a pot that when we put this bread down, this bread is considered a bill money, whatever this bill money may be.
Okay.
You're gonna have some money in your pocket, I'm gonna have some money in my pocket, and then hey, when it comes down to the day to day, we'll ask each other, hey, what you got on you? How much you got on you? And then we'll put it together and make it where it happens for the day. But far as just the whole I'm just designed to just pay everything and I'm just a wallet, I don't think that's it.
Now, I got a question for you and I want to see what you think. Do you believe that women charge men more that they're not that attracted to?
Yes.
Do you
Yes.
think that's do now? Is it the same way with men?
No.
Do men require more out of a woman he's not attracted to than he does one that he is attracted to?
Oh, well, if you say it like that, yes. Because if he's attracted to that woman, he will accept more out of that woman than he would a woman that he's not attracted to.
Now, listen though, but that's him accepting more
Mhm.
out of her, whereas the more attracted a woman is to a man, the less he has to do for her in order for her to keep him.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. I think it's the same thing.
So,
Because
but it's
because a man will sacrifice his respect, A man will sacrifice his family.
Okay.
A man will sacrifice a life lasting relationship for that moment.
Okay.
So for sure, I would still say that they would bend their will for a situation and circumstances. But I want to kind of piggyback on something that we were talking
Yeah,
about.
I was about to go back to
I
it.
was going to piggyback on something that we was talking about because it tied to one of the first things that you said when you was asking how a person's supposed to move because of what a parent taught them, so on and so forth.
No sugar.
I think we're part of the generation of don't say shit to my kids.
I agree with that.
I was bringing the topic up before, but I think we're part of that generation, and I think that's why everybody expects so much out of a person because you had so many unrealistic expectations given to you. I think genuinely you kind of move like that person that's going into a Ferrari dealership with a 400 credit score saying, I want that red or that pink one right there.
I think that has a lot to do with,
Man,
I think that has a lot to do with gold. The parents telling their child that they are the most beautiful person in the world every day. I'm not saying that you don't tell your child that they are beautiful or handsome,
you should.
but I don't think that we should inflate their egos to the point that it becomes unrealistic. You see people spending $10,000 on their kids' prom, and hell, they ain't spent that much on their rent in a year.
They made it where pretty gets a pass. And I don't think pretty should ever get a pass, no matter if it's coming from a man or if it's coming from a woman.
I agree.
Pretty shouldn't get you a pass. If you're a person who is a terrible person, just because you're pretty don't mean it should be accepted.
No sugar.
If you're a miscommunicator, just because you're pretty don't mean that it should be accepted.
Facts.
So giving your kids those unrealistic expectations because of certain things or certain things that they may have possessed, I don't think it's player. Even if they don't possess you, you'll hear somebody say you're the prettiest thing in the world.
Facts.
So unrealistic expectations, pops, I think it's like it's a common thing or not. And I think one of the things that I want to kind of segue to the point that I'm trying to make is I think that's why you see so many individuals outside right now not flourishing in just the day to day for real.
No sugar. Because you didn't get the discipline that was necessary. You didn't get the bad side of it. See, you got a good side of the hand and a bad side of the hand. And a lot of us don't want to be like our parents. And I know and I'm a parent, but it's a lot of kids don't want to be like their parent. So they go out their way.
I'm gonna go on record to say this, Pops. I think that should say a lot about a person's parent. Like if you ask a person like, would you want to be like your dad? Would you want to be like your mom? Like, hey, I mean verbatim, life in verbatim, like your dad or like your mom.
No sugar.
From start to finish, you'll be surprised on how many individuals will be like, man, I ain't gonna lie to you, I wouldn't. And it's no knock, but it should show that we come from some type of dysfunction. If you couldn't just say, hey, my mom and dad was happier than man.
It's a totally different feeling.
They had some bad, they had some alright.
I think,
but man,
it's unrealistic though to think that your parents is gonna go through your whole life and not bump heads. I think it's unrealistic when kids coming from the don't say shit to my kids era jump in the middle of their parents' business.
I think a lot of times you see it come out of a parent when you hear the teachers call about their kids doing something wrong. If your kids did something wrong at school and you were the parent that instantly took your kid's side, you're one of those parents that kind of fit that era of don't say shit to my kids era. And I think the problem with that is if they're around your kids 8 hours in a day and they're seeing your kids more than you are through Monday through Friday,
because you're working,
by default, I would say you should listen.
Facts.
Like I would listen. And somebody said, I would love to be like my mom. Salute. Because it's a proud thing to feel that way.
But you know, Gold, a lot of that also happens within the relationship. Let's say that someone had a child prior to the relationship coming together.
Okay.
And in the don't say shit to my kid era, that man, if he's with a woman with a child, can't say a damn thing to the kids. He could live there, pay the bills. He can do all of those things. There are many relationships where that guy can't say nothing. There are relationships where a woman has got with a guy that has kids.
For sure.
And he act like she can't say shit to his kids.
I'm going to go on record to say this, Pops. I've never condoned in that. When it comes down to you being a parent to somebody's kids, we're a village. So if I see your son doing something out of pocket, I'm gonna get on his ass. If I see your daughter doing something out of pocket, I'm gonna get on her ass. Now, when it comes down to discipline, I think that's where it kind of varies.
Yeah, you draw the line.
You draw the line. Now, am I going to punish or do certain things that you may not do or they're not used to? No, I wouldn't. But am I going to make it clear and evident that whatever they just did was out of pocket? For sure.
You're supposed to,
For
though.
sure.
But when those kids who have parents that don't want nobody on planet Earth to say anything to them except them, when those kids grow up and start dating, they step out into the world and expect everything that their father gave them or that their mother gave them. You got guys who want the woman to treat them exactly like their mother treated them.
But you know what though? I think that comes from lying to your kids.
Okay, let's talk
A
about it.
lot of times parents lie to their kids so much that they give their kids a false reality.
Come on.
You'll hear mom almost lie to her daughter, making her daughter think that she was treated like a fairy princess. But reality to it is there was women that got took to the dance and there was women who got took to the back of the dance.
Behind
If
it.
your mother was one of them that could say, hey, I didn't really go to prom, or I did go to prom and this happened. Respect the jokes of there's nothing new under the sun. My mama, your mama, the man on the moon mama. Or flip side of dad. Dad will hit you with the, man, yeah, I ain't do nothing wrong, or it was just your mama, and it was all bad on your mama. Every time he opened his mouth, it's something bad about your mama. But the reality to it is that when you get to doing research, your ass was out of pocket and was a Rolling Stone maybe.
Come on.
So the reality to it is when you see people lying to their kids and kind of playing on their kids' top, you see it create a false reality to their kids. And some people grow up to want to run from it, but a lot of people grow up and stay in it.
No sugar. And I genuinely believe that when you are in the don't say to my kids type of situation or in a relationship with a person that came from that situation and you didn't grow up in a situation like that, you don't understand. And people don't, I don't think they get the fact that your upbringing has everything to do with your relationships being successful and failing. How you got brought up has everything to do with why you can't keep a man or you can't get a woman.
Pops, I'll go on record to say publicly and privately, the reason why I love you to the ends of time is because I don't feel like we lie to each other. We don't ask each other things that we have to lie about. And I don't consider white lies lies. Like white lies are not considered lies to me because we'll wake up in the morning and be like, yeah, all right, man, I'm gonna call you right back, all right back.
Oh yeah, see that's different. I'm gonna call you right back. It could be 6 hours later.
That's not considered, like, people hold up. That's not considered a lie to me. And this may be a lie, but I'm not gonna. You know what I mean when I'm saying.
Yeah, but the big lies.
The big lies of when I'm asking my old man, hey, XYZ ABC, or when my old man's asking me, hey, XYZ ABC. I can't remember a moment where I wanted to lie to my old man.
And I'm gonna tell you the truth because I feel like this. The worst thing your kids could do is catch you in a lie.
Pops, and you want to know something funny? I think people treat kids almost as if they're unintelligent when they're going to school. You're not going to school every day. They're going to school every day to learn how to be more insightful, to learn how to kind of engage in what somebody's saying. I can't just read this. I got to read this to understand.
And you sitting here lying to them thinking they can't tell you lying.
I know you lying to me.
If you can tell your kids are lying, and I want you to drop a 1 in the comments if you agree, and drop a 2 if you disagree. I believe that if you can tell your kids are lying,
they can tell you lying.
They can tell that you're lying.
I'm gonna drop a 1 because I'm not gonna lie to you. My old man would be able to look at me in my face and give me a look and be like, "This."
And you'll know when I'm lying.
And I'll be able to look at my old man. I'd be able to look at my old man and be like,
I don't believe that, Pop.
I don't believe that.
I don't believe, right, exactly.
But it's because we grown to know each other and trust each other in a way where I genuinely feel like when you see parents lie to their kids, I personally feel like you're handicapping your kid in a way.
You are, because if you think about it, if you're not telling them the truth, then they're walking around with a lie. They're going to walk around and try to act like who you said you were.
True.
They're going to emulate out of your vision those stories you tell your sons, guys. Your kids walk outside and try to be you when you're not around them. I don't care. Even if you don't live in the house with them, the stories that mama tell their child about their father, that child is going to try to emulate that story at one time or another, whether it's good or bad. Remember, I told you this.
Chelsea said, my son called me out because I lied about how babies get here. He could smell the BS. Now, you want to know something? I think that's the first lie that we always tell our kids. And the funniest part about it is they already know.
The stork brought it.
Now watch this. This is the funniest thing in the world. Me and my boys, we was chopping it up. We was just talking, and I asked all of them, "What y'all know about physical?"
Right, about girls.
What y'all know about it? First, they ain't want to say nothing because they thinking that hey, you're gonna get in trouble.
Right.
Afterwards, I broke the barrier and they started talking about it. My skin started.
Yeah, they know a lot more than you think.
Because when I'm listening to these innocent vessels say all these different.
Yeah, that's why you see why I act about you like I do.
Like
I'm looking like that with my.
So mindset wise behind it, though it might be cringy to you as a parent, or it might be
you got to get over that.
You got to get over
Eat that chip.
And create that safe space, because if they're asking about it, they know about it. And if they know about it,
they trying to do it.
Hey, get a hold of it to make it where, hey, when we chop it up with each other, let's chop it up with each other and let's talk to each other like best friends. Best friends don't lie to each other. And if we speak it from soul, then I got to know what your role is in this life. I got to know what you're doing out here. I got to be able to say, if the police came to me today and said that, hey, I caught you doing woo woo, I got to be able to look at them in their face and say, hey, son, chin up, chest out. I know you did it. Hey, you know you did it. Let's stand up and go do what you got to do to handle business. Or if it's my girl, hey, if these people are saying this is what you're doing out here, and I know that you did it, chin up, chest out. Hey, stand up. Let's change our image, because your mistakes don't define you. But for whatever we doing, we got to be on point with our kids.
Too many times, fathers try to deny who their daughters have grown into.
Fathers deny who their sons are grown into.
They do, and mothers do too. Man. But I want to talk about the angle of how a lot of young ladies move like they do, that have fathers in their lives, because they know how to finesse their father. Their father still has the vision of their little girl spinning around in her tutu at 6 years old at her ballerina recital, when his little girl is actually
spinning around nefarious.
Yeah, no sugar. And this is something that I think is a bridge that has to be crossed with fathers, because as long as your daughter feel like she got a lot of you about the woman she done grown into, even if she bogus about the way she move, the less you're gonna know about her, and the more she's gonna lie to people in the streets. Because think about this: if a young lady will lie to her father,
she gonna lie to a man.
Why would she not lie to a man that she done met after she done got grown and had other experiences? Why wouldn't she lie to him?
I would go on record to say the way that a woman respects her father is going to be a counterpart on how she respects you, and vice versa.
Come on.
The way a man respects his mother is going to be the counterpart on how he respects you. So whoever that mother figure is to him, whoever that father figure is to her, whoever that person is, you should always gauge that respect level, because it's going to show how she's going to reflect you. And I mean in the maddest moments, the saddest moments, the happiest moments, when dad is coming through, when dad is not coming through, when dad couldn't come through. You should see how she treats him, talks about him, and thinks about him. And then that's how she's going to treat, talk, and think about your ass.
Yeah, because you got to be able to gauge it like that, guys, because if you think she could do this to the person that raised her, but she can't do that to you,
or vice versa for the kings. If you doing that to your mama, she should be able to gauge off how you treating your mama.
And ladies, you really should look at that, because if he can disrespect his mother, it's going to happen to you eventually. And that makes me think about the women the good girls.
Let's go.
That choose the bad guy.
Let's go.
And I asked a question a little bit earlier, and I want to ask them here. Does a woman choosing the bad guy mean that she is choosing to be treated bad?
Yes.
What do you all think? Does a woman choosing the bad guy mean that she is either consciously or unconsciously choosing to be treated bad?
I think
and agreeing that it's cool?
I think so, because it's no different than if a man was to say, you know what, I know for a fact that this woman is not going to mentally stimulate me. She's going to always be promiscuous. She'll go through any door with no hesitation. I believe that if you're requiring her to do things that's outside of her anatomy, you're bogus.
Facts.
You're bogus. You should find somebody that's your speed. If you're not willing and want to walk with her through those doors that she's going through to do nefarious things, yeah, you bogus. I
Yeah,
wouldn't want to talk to her and make it
I
where you
agree.
have to change your anatomy just to be around me, and vice versa for women. If you talk to a guy that you know for a fact is an obituary cheater, a serial dater, a narcissistic man, or a liar, or whatever the case may be, and you continue to talk to that man, you are subjecting yourself to whatever that man is doing.
Facts.
For sure.
At the end of the day, you see so many people say, the nice man is so boring. I just want, I don't want him to be too nice, but I don't want him to be too bad. And so you're saying that you're going to accept a little bad, then, is what you're saying. You're willingly accepting to be treated bad. You don't get to choose the bad and how he treats you, because you're willingly accepting it by saying, I kind of like bad boys.
Come on.
You're saying I kind of like getting treated bad. I think that people need to take a step back, because guys, same way. You see this female.
Oh, I like this. Go finish up.
You see, no, I'm gonna land the plane. You see this girl, and you know she love to show off everything online. Show it all off, but she seemed like she like you.
It's the biggest turn off in the world, and I don't want you.
She seemed like she like you.
I'm cool.
But for a lot of guys, she got 1,000 likes today on this picture, and she chose to talk to you. A lot of guys would expect to get with her, and she just gonna stop wanting them other guys, huh? She gonna stop wanting that attention, huh? Because you got with her. No, you chose the bad girl.
Chose it.
So you chose to be treated bad.
I want to segue with you really quick.
Let's go.
Does it matter what your kids wear? And does it represent you? So if she's wearing short skirts, if he's wearing ski mask, if they got expensive clothes on, whatever the case may be, does that represent you? Like, does it matter
Absolutely.
what your kids wear?
It matters what your kids wear. I don't care about fashion and this, that, and the third. I love fashion, but there are some things that we know blur the lines of fashion, and you trying to make more of a statement than just fashion makes.
So everybody that's watching right now, does it matter what your kids wear?
And does it reflect who you are as a parent?
I'm going to say, Pops, I agree and say yes. If you are a guy that's dressing your sons like they're 30, I think that you're looking for a friend instead of trying to lead this person to be a good person.
I agree.
You're not being a parent to that person. I believe if you're a mother and you're dressing your daughter like she's going to the 2025 BET Awards,
You see that.
Man.
Let's say, and people are like, well, it was a special occasion. It was prom. But I wonder, when you see the prom pictures, every year you see them, they come down the timeline. I wonder to myself, what the hell was her mama thinking?
Man.
What was his daddy thinking?
She trying to fulfill what she didn't do at her prom. He trying to let bygones be bygones. Probably don't want to argue tonight. But I'm gonna go on record to say this.
Yes, it matters.
When it comes down to those things, I would never be that person that allows certain things around me. Now, granted, I can't say I can control everything, because kids are gonna be kids.
Yeah, they'll go to school and have their stuff in their locker.
But one thing that I would say is, though, as a parent, if I know for a fact that she's prone to put some clothes on and then put something underneath, it ain't gonna be far-fetched for me popping up at your school.
Facts.
It ain't gonna be far-fetched for me playing it off like, oh, you forgot woo. Hey, call her out of class just so I can kind of see what you got on.
No sugar.
It ain't far-fetched for me to kind of check up on my boys on a random cuff on the lines of, no, I don't want you to let them know I'm here. I was just pulling away from my people's crib, and they literally down the street. So I just want to kind of stop in, show my face, let you know that, hey, yeah, I'm kind of 10-2. Treat me like the Valkyrie in the sky. I'm just hovering over them.
So is the parent wrong, or is the child wrong for wanting to dress like that? She's 17.
Mm-hmm.
She see mama put on next to nothing to go to the club. Is she wrong for wanting to dress just like mama? And is a son wrong? He see his daddy pull the ski mask down
Design it out for sure. Is he wrong? Yeah.
and
Okay.
jumping his Dodge?
Is he wrong?
Is the son wrong for wanting to emulate what they see their parents doing? Who's wrong in that situation, the parent or the child?
And you know
Because
what?
the parent's still trying to live.
I'm gonna go on record to say this. I'll fall on my sword and say I'll be wrong before my kids be wrong.
Okay.
So for example, I'm considered wrong because if I had a ski mask on and I let them wear a ski mask, I allowed it.
Truth.
So by me allowing it, I'm going to take the blame before I allow my kids to take the blame on it. And that's just me being a parent.
True.
Mindset behind it is though, I look at it and say, for what it is, if you know for a fact that right is right, wrong is wrong, I don't care if it's my mama, your mama, the man on the moon mama, your dad, my dad, the man on the moon dad, we should always be able to tell our people when we're wrong. Like I feel like I have the position with my old man to be able to say, hey pops, I think you're wrong right here.
No sugar.
Like, hey, I don't think you should do that. Hey, pops, I don't think we should wear that over here. And I think he'll have, and he feels that he has that position to be able to say the same thing. So just because you see somebody doing it that you rock with, don't mean you should do it. But I do feel like the parents should take blame for it. And it brings me to my next question to you then, pops. I'm
Okay.
I'll leap on you.
Hey, let's roll.
Is fathers to blame for everything that's going on in our community and households?
Now, when you say that,
Okay, so when I say that, him not being there, let's just classify it as him not being there. Him not being there, fathers not being there. Is that the reason why we're seeing women be more masculine? Is that the reason why we're seeing more kids not have curfews, not have structure, not have discipline? Fathers not being there, is that the reason why the world is so chaotic and what it is now? For everybody that's watching, drop what you think in short, and pops, alley to you. What do you think?
I genuinely believe the answer to that is no. Do they have some responsibility? Yes.
Okay.
But I'm a firm believer that, okay, if you purchase a car,
okay,
and you drive that car like you are in the Indy 500 and you crash that car, do you blame the driver or do you blame the automaker if it was no mechanical malfunction? You can't blame the automaker. And that's what I feel like you see a lot in situations where the person says, well, if your daddy was here, then this, you wouldn't have done this. But if there's a parent in the household, that person is the person responsible for what goes on in their household. So I genuinely feel the parent, whether it's a father or a mother, but we know mothers most of the time have custody. So the parent in the household has to bear the weight of raising the child. I know it's messed up. I know it is. But they were 50% of the choice. So they're at least 50% of the blame. And if the child lives with you more than 50% of the time, you got to take more than 50% of the blame. Because you both equally 50-50 made the child, but the child spends 75 or 80% of the time with you.
Now, I want to say this, Pops. I think no matter, and I agree with what you're saying. I'm with you. I'm running parallel still. In my head and my heart, no matter if you're the father or if you're the mother, once you have a kid, you can't be that parent that just takes claim for all the good that your kids do and not the bad.
Facts.
There's so many parents that will claim my kid got all A's, all B's. They're a great student. They're amazing. But you're not going to claim that your son is fucking Tyrone or he got an addiction that man that's gonna send
Tyrone Biggles.
man, yeah, he gonna kiss clouds. He keep doing what he doing.
You gotta wear that.
I see so many individuals being able to claim, hey, my baby graduated, my baby did X, Y, Z, but they're not claiming, hey, my baby will make your ear hot if you get to talking to him a funny way. Hey, my baby, hey,
He one of them guys that's standing out there.
he emotionally unstable.
You
when it
locking
comes
your
to certain-
doors when you ride past my baby.
So mindset wise, I get that we want to claim the good, but we gotta also claim the bad. So if you're the
Fact.
parent that's the primary parent, or if you're the parent that's doing what you're supposed to do, understand that hey, it's a part of your job description to take the good and to take the bad.
I agree.
It's a part of it.
And don't get me wrong, I ain't letting the guys off the hook.
Oh no, because I got something for them.
But the fact is, though,
Mhm.
if it took 50% of both of you to make a child,
Mhm.
and the child lives with one of you 75 to 80% of the time, then that, even if we just do simple math, that's going to at least put you to be about 70, 75% responsible for everything that goes along with the child.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this.
Hold on. Roseanne said, I had custody of both of my kids. Neither of the fathers stood up to the plate. So I am 100% wrong. No, I'm not saying that. It's not about right or wrong. It's about saying that you are 100% responsible, or at least 80% responsible for anything that happens with the kids. I'm sure you agree with that.
No,
Because if they do something phenomenal, you're
claim
going to
it.
take 100% of the credit.
I agree. I'm gonna say this, pops.
Let's roll.
When it comes down to fathers taking blame or not taking blame, I think genuinely a, a father that's not there does equal, if not more, damage to a household.
Then a mother that doesn't care?
That's why I said equal or more. Because a mother not caring and stop caring, like you'll see, and I'm gonna zone out for the boys.
Let's go.
You will see when boys get out that cute phase, mothers stop caring. So once the cute phase is over, they stop caring. I would go on record, and I respect that you for saying you're 100% responsible for them. A salute for taking that accountability for sure. I would go on record to say when it comes down to a father being there, it changes the dynamic of the household.
It does.
Like it changes that dynamic of it. And I don't think a father being there is being with the woman.
Okay.
I think the father being there is being there for who you created. If you created one, or if you created being there for the one that you created. So a father being there, I think it gives a kid not only the ability to get his other half of the software or her other half of the software, but it gives a kid insight on how to kind of move through life, because mom don't always know the answers, nor do dad, because I would put it in dad's court. Do you think a dad can take care of a mother, take care of a kid just as well as a mother can if he was a full-time father?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
It's really about him wanting to and being willing to.
Okay.
Because you see some moms don't want to be moms, some moms do. Just like some fathers don't want to be fathers, some fathers do.
I agree.
But it's about the will to put your kids before everything else. And a lot of times why that doesn't always work out is because some people they allow loneliness and their issues of feeling insignificant. They let those things stand in the way of them being the best parent they could be. So they go out all the time. So they seek validation through people that don't really care about them. And with men, you see men who want to be a father sometimes who just ain't willing to go through the hell and the headache.
Okay, so
of going through the hell and the headache. I just want to.
For sure.
You see a lot of men who, it's the truth. They don't want to deal with you so much that they just throw their hands up in the air. And it's not an excuse, but we have to also recognize men as being human.
I agree.
Because literally people think it's like Scarface at the end of the movie or something, that a guy just gonna keep on taking hits and just stand there and never go down. And at the end of the day, I can guarantee you, they may not admit it, but there are some moms that know I chased that man away.
Okay, so
I chased that man away from not only me, but from these kids too.
It brings me to my next question. Do we make excuses for bad mothers at like for the masses? Like, do we make excuses for bad mothers?
It's natural to.
Give me game.
It's natural to because I'm traditional.
Okay.
I always have looked at the women as the flowers and the men as the trees.
Okay.
You could crush a flower easier, so it's much easier to come to a woman's defense in a situation where it looks like she needs to be defended.
Mm.
So we make it's not even excuses. I feel like we just soften the landing for moms a little bit more because we think of our own mamas. We think of all of those things.
So for everybody that's watching and will watch, my question to y'all is: do we make excuses for bad mothers? Like, are we one and willing to make an excuse for a bad mother faster than we'll make an excuse or give an excuse for a father that's not showing up? That's my question to everybody. And I'm gonna say this.
That's heavy
On,
right
on
there,
my
go.
end,
That's
Pops.
hey, that's real right there.
On my end, Pops, that's why I said it's a both thing.
Right.
Because on my end, I feel like there's more excuses rendered out to women than there are to men. There's more. Let's say for example, if a mother falls short and a mother got you sleeping on the couch, got you sleeping on the floor, they're going to say, man, she fell on her times, and hey, they're gonna damn near try to blame it on the guy for having
Fell on hard times.
feel me. If a guy was to say, hey, it's times where hey, I fell short, same situation, fell short and I can't do woo woo, he automatically is deemed a deadbeat.
Facts.
If a woman was to say, you know what, damn, I look left and I look right, I got to either choose between the bills or our birthday, and she choose the bills over the birthday, she's deemed to been doing something responsible because she did what she had to do. If a father was to say, you know what, I gotta choose bills over this birthday because reality to it is if I spend this money on this birthday, I might not have no place to go home to.
He's looked at as a failure father.
He's looked at as a failed father. It's almost like it's almost as if
And that's even if he's a good father.
even if it doesn't even matter. Matters none if she's a good mother, if he's a good father. I'm just
Facts.
putting out the
the
respectful, reasonable answer that people would give you when they say certain things. If a father was to say, you know what, hey, I can get you this, but I can't get you that right now. You would damn near look at that father. Now I'm talking about the masses, not everybody.
Right.
The masses would
Right.
look at that father like, damn, he ain't come through the way he's supposed to. But when you look at the grand scheme of things, when a mother is doing that, it's almost like she's considered teaching somebody. So mindset wise, on the question that I'm gonna throw back to the alley oop is, when it comes down to those excuses and those titles and labels that's getting placed on men and women, how can we change that? How can we flip that narrative to make it where that narrative is no longer existent? If you're a good father, you're a good father. If you're a good mother, you're a good mother. If you're a bad father, you're a bad father. If you're a bad mother, you're a bad mother.
I think we first have to understand that everybody falls short.
Everybody, we're human.
The best father, the worst father, the best mother, the worst mother.
I agree.
My mother, your mother, the man on the moon mother.
I agree.
Everybody falls short at one time or another. Everybody's human, and everybody has a breaking point. And many times, when you feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders already, and somebody set a toothpick on top of it, it'll send you to your knees.
Yeah.
If we don't empathize more with both sides and also hold both sides more accountable and not just have it so lopsided, then it'll always be that way. Because the playing field ain't never going to be level when it come down to the subject of kids, mothers, and fathers. I want when y'all watch this for you to drop a 1 in the chat if you agree and drop a 2 in the chat if you don't. The playing field will never be level when it comes down to the masses judging a father or a mother.
I agree.
It just won't be, because as I said, it's a natural thing for us to protect women and our mothers.
But I don't think it should be protection. All right. When I say I don't think it should be protection, I don't think men should be asking for protection out of women. I think it should be more so fairness.
I like that.
I think a lot of times you hear sassy men kind of wanting the same type of treatment as women. I don't think you should ask for that as a man. I think it's more so on the lines of understanding, being able to say fair is fair. If you would want somebody to understand you when you're going through something, understand somebody else when they're going through something. If you would want somebody to be able to say, you know what, I hear you and I see you in this moment that hey, it's dark for us. You should be able to reflect that same type of energy.
You know, I saw a video a little bit earlier, and it goes to what you're talking about, understanding gold.
Okay.
It was a young lady, probably late 20s.
Okay.
She said, you know what? I don't care how much I like you. If I ask you for something on Monday and you tell me you have to wait till Friday or till you get paid, you might as well just leave me alone.
I respect it. I'll leave you alone because the reality to it is that's not life.
But what that is a person who doesn't care that this man lives check to check, that doesn't have empathy for the next human being. Yet, you still want him to treat you good, buy you things,
Okay.
take you shopping, pamper you.
I'm gonna go on record to say this, Pops. I don't mind doing those things, but it has to be a flip where you do those things too.
Come on.
I would look at it and say, I couldn't fathom sitting around a woman who wouldn't want to spoil me.
Okay.
Like I would want to spoil that person.
Facts.
I would look at it and say, it'll be more so of it will be going against my nature to sit around a person who wouldn't want to say, you know what, hey, for you, I'm finna celebrate. Roses at your feet. I'm finna celebrate.
No sugar.
I'm gonna go on record to say, in my head and my heart, there's not too many men that will require a female to, hey, do his nails. Hey, do my nails. Hey, get me right.
Yeah, take
Hey,
care of
I
that.
don't want to have to go down to my local nail salon and be put. Hey, nah, baby, you gonna do it. The
Facts.
reality to it is, I look at it and say for what it is. When it comes down to being catered to, at one point in time in life, women enjoy doing it, and there's women that still enjoy doing it.
Yeah,
So-
Beyonce made a whole song about it.
So when you sit around a person, no matter who it is, like you sit around a person that don't enjoy catering to somebody, hey, you should find somebody different. Because as a man who would say, hey, I ain't gonna lie to you, I wouldn't mind, and not speaking to, but I wouldn't mind showering my person like I'm a CNA.
No sugar.
Like I'm not head to toe, like hey, I'm one of those guys. So
Ain't nothing wrong with that though.
so if it's not flipped or reciprocated, yeah, no.
So-
nada.
So, but what it makes me look at is, how is it though that now the prevailing thought is, I want to be pampered. I want to be pampered, but
Okay.
ain't nobody else ever had to pamper me.
Mm.
But I want you to pamper me. Why is that the prevailing thought now? I had a comment where I said something like,
But you know what? And it came to me as a whisper in the wind.
No,
Not to
go
cut
ahead.
you off.
No, roll with it.
She know that you make more than every guy that she sat next to.
But how is that okay for you to expect, just because this man worked harder than the last guys that you allowed to be with you for damn near free?
Mm.
How is it okay for you to expect that man to pamper you?
To be honest with you, Pops, I don't think you should expect nothing you can't do for yourself.
Facts.
Like, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I don't think you should, if you can't do these things for yourself, I don't think you should ask somebody to do them.
You want
Like, I
a
don't think so.
$500 dinner.
But you can't go and take yourself on a $500 date.
You had to tell him that you don't want cheese on the Whopper last time.
So it didn't cost you a lot. I would look at it and say this.
You watching the cash register.
It goes back to one of the things that I said in the beginning, realistic expectations. That's a 400 credit score asking for a Ferrari. If you know for a fact that, and I'm not telling nobody to take drive-through dates. I'm not telling nobody to accept a drive-through date. But what I am saying is, at this time right now, if you know for a fact that you and that person are on steak level, and I'm talking about from Red Lobster, and we can't go to Roof Chris.
Right, facts.
If we at Red Lobster
Baby
level,
is steak, damn it.
let's treat this Red Lobster like it's Roof Chris, damn it. If we are not at Roof Chris right now, damn it, hey, let's work hard enough between both of us that we can sit there and eat it.
But if you had drive-through for dinner 4 days in a row,
baby, respect the fact I'm taking you to KFC, McDonald's, or a Steak and Shake, or whatever
you
burger
could even
spot is
get
around.
the brownie.
Add it. Add it. Hey, but you know what? I'm gonna go on record to say this, and I'm gonna segue with you, Pops. If you're not serious with somebody, I do not think you should be sharing a meal with that person.
Come on.
I'm gonna go on record to say, like, when people be going out on dates, I don't think dates involve eating a lot of the times. Why are you coming to kick it with me hungry?
Facts. And, oh, people will go
What
the
the
whole
hell?
day without eating.
What the hell? No.
Drop
Hey,
a one in the
no.
chat if you have
No.
done this. I know y'all ain't gonna admit it.
Man.
Or you could say that you knew somebody that did it.
If I came hungry, Pops, I wanted her to feed me. So mindset wise, if you come hungry, you want me to feed you. I know what you're doing. So the reality to it is
What?
no.
You sat at
It's not
home
serious.
all day, didn't eat breakfast,
Mm-mm.
didn't eat lunch.
You share meals with the people that you're exclusive with. If you're not exclusive with that person, you shouldn't be sharing a meal with that person.
Dry food.
Hell, I ain't taking you there. I look at it and say, you should come. If your stomach growl while you're here with me,
Or while we on the way.
I'm not. Hey,
You trying to get me.
Respectfully, I'm gonna look. Yeah, hey, baby, I got something to do real quick. I'm gonna divert my whole plans because that don't sound right to me and it don't feel right to me. I'm hearing your stomach, but I'm hearing what you saying.
You done left an extra corner. You done left an extra corner in your stomach open.
Your stomach growling is like somebody handshake not matching a smile.
No shit.
Because in my head and my heart, I look at, if I sit next to you, I'm thinking that you're, hey, you good, we straight.
So what about the guy? I don't know if you watched the video, but it's a guy who went up to brunch with a lady.
Okay.
He paid for brunch.
Okay.
Paid the tip.
Okay.
She picked up the receipt,
Mhm.
looked at the receipt, and saw that he didn't tip the appropriate amount in her opinion.
Okay.
She's like, that's all you gave him? You ain't give him 30%?
Damn, I didn't know it was 30%.
It ain't. It's 20.
I was gonna say, what the hell?
The thing is, though, she blocked the man after he dropped her off later that day.
That's cool. You know what? Hey, but you know, okay. So look, I got a story, and I won't say anything bad, but I got a story.
Okay.
I think a lot of times men fail to realize that when you're talking to somebody, no different than the woman feeling like, hey, I'm a somebody, you should feel like a somebody.
Exactly.
So when you go to a job, they ask you, like, that woman that you're sitting in front of, she's been asked by a person that she's never sat next to before in life. She's been asked this question: why do you want to work here? If she's been asked by a random person, why do you want to work here? If you're a person that's going to be willing to ask her to lay with her and she's willing to lay with you and blase, you should be one and willing to ask her as, hey, are you willing to, hey, do what you're supposed to do?
What are you doing here?
Pops.
What are you doing? Hey,
Pops.
Why did you choose me?
Pops. Out of everybody that you could be talking to,
why
are
you
you here?
Facts. And if she can't answer that off of the cuff, she don't like you, bro.
I would go on record to say this. Let's flip it. If it was a woman asking a man that, if that man like you,
you done gave him an open door for him to tell you everything that he wants.
I'm going to slam dunk on every guy that you ever talk to.
Lean like Mike.
The minute you ask, hey, damn, why you like me? Why did you choose me out of everybody?
And guys need to stop dating and approaching women like you're nobody.
Man.
I want you to really draw when I say that. If you approach her like you're nobody,
she gonna treat you like you a nobody.
I don't care if you just the best mechanic at your job, bro. You're somebody. But yet, when we get in this arena of dating, guys turn into nobody.
I would look at it and say, for what it is, nobody's and somebody's is not determined by your pay wage.
Ever.
Nobody and somebody's is determined by your human wage.
Man, exactly. So, what you coming with?
And your human currency matters. How much, hey, do you carry virtue on the day-to-day? Do you have integrity?
Do you have character?
Are you charismatic when it comes to love?
And are you a good communicator? Why are you here?
Those things are things that I feel, like me personally, I feel like are questions that you scatter out through the first 3 or 4 dates.
Man, I want to know why you here from day one.
Pops, hey, scatter them out through the first 3 dates, because I'm going to go on record to you to say when you're doing interviews, Pops, they ask you that question like 3 or 4 times damn near.
I will ask you right now, ain't got to be no date.
Man,
I'm going to ask you, why are you here? What do you want?
this could be an evaluation period, and I ask you that.
What do you want? I mean, you can't sit next to me without me finding out what the hell are you doing here. You got to be somebody, bro. If you're not somebody to you, why would she care to get to know you? If you approach her like nobody, she's going to treat you like nobody. And ladies, same difference. Somebody ain't what you look like, baby. Because anybody could look like that nowadays. Go to Ulta. You go on the internet, you can order everything you need, seem like, to look like you're somebody. So somebody for ladies ain't about what you look like. It's about who you are, who you present, and
you know
baby,
what?
why
I
you
like
choose
this.
me?
Everybody is a somebody. I was raised to treat with respect from CEO to janitors. Now, I'm gonna go and run parallel with you because I don't disagree, but I want to add something that a lot of people go unsaid by saying. Yeah, we are taught to treat everybody with respect, but we're also taught mentally throughout experiences throughout life to be judgmental. Because the reality to it is that same person, like I would not say Roseanne, but I would say that same person that would say we respect everybody, and we still are judgmental of people.
Yeah, you lock your door as soon as the wrong person walks across the street.
If a person walked across the street that looked unsavory, you might clutch your purse and you might lock your doors.
Might clutch your pearls too.
So if a person was a janitor, or if a person was, let's say if he was outside and he was in Chicago and he was walking on the red line, and you was in that elevator with that individual, yeah, you're gonna treat everybody with respect, but chances are you might still be a little judgmental behind it.
That's true.
So I would go on record to say when we're saying these things, it's not saying that it's not designed to respect anybody, but I think we need to go and make it more public and plastered that, hey, be judgmental about who you're talking to. Be judgmental about who you're sitting around. Be more judgmental about who you're giving your time to.
And have the right questions ready to go.
Fire them off.
Why did you choose me?
Why?
Who are you? Forget your job. Forget you being a mother.
Who are you? Who do you
forget what you studied in college? Who are you? What did you want to be before you got to do any of this? What's your hidden talent? What drives you crazy? Not talking about nothing physical. What is that one thing that you love more than anything else on earth? Matter of fact, what's that one thing that you haven't done that you wish you did do since you was a girl or since you was a... Ask the right questions as if you're somebody, because understand something, somebody's ask you real questions. And ladies, because he got money don't mean he's a somebody.
I look at it and say, for what it is,
nobody can have money too.
You'll be able to tell a lot about a man and a woman from how they enter their 21 questions. Their first 21 questions can tell you everything you need to know about that person that's in front of you.
And if it's got to do with the outfit you got on it, I literally saw somebody go, and a lot of people that on a post that I put up,
let's go,
they said that they would not date a person because of how they dress.
Okay.
Dress code, and I get it. And I'm not talking about provocative dress. If he's a bad dresser or if she's a bad dresser, some people said they wouldn't date him. And as long as there's nothing that's obscene, I don't think that really has nothing to do with the price of tea in China, because style could be taught.
I'm going to go on record to say I wouldn't care if she's a bad dresser or not. Like, if she's a bad dresser, I would look at it like that's like an empty canvas for tattoos for me. Like, hey, hey, baby, we don't have to do nothing expensive. We don't have to do nothing extravagant. But, hey, 100, I like putting colors together. So if you trust me enough to be able to kind of just tweak a little bit out, that those things can come over time where we put this together, put that together, put this together, and it could be the same clothes that you have.
The right person will step your game up, and it don't mean that they're gonna have to spend money on you.
True.
But the right person, are they, like you said, they ain't gonna let you walk around with something in your beard.
I agree.
They ain't gonna let you walk around dressed like a box of, with lipstick in your teeth, dressed like a box of crayons.
Let's go.
They ain't gonna let you walk around like that. And too many times we judge the automatic surface and we don't even scrape past it to see that the person is a great person. And every single day we come on here, I am going to do my best to highlight the fact that sometimes we should be judgmental, but we should also understand that if a mirror was in front of you, you'd see that you wasn't everything that you sometimes think you are too.
Hey, I'm gonna go on record to say, Pops, I have nothing else to follow up behind that.
Hey,
For sure.
we appreciate you all in abundance. Hey, we appreciate y'all popping in and locking into the Golden Pop Show. I'm your man, Rice D, aka Pops the American Dad, and to my Facebook folks, Uncle Rice.
Mr. Gold, go, or Coach G for
Coach
short.
G for short.
Yeah.
Hey, we appreciate y'all. Enjoy y'all.